channel. We want to have a brief discussion on finances, and to start, maybe I'll just ask you to tell the subscribers who you are and what you do.
Okay, my name is Mrs. Alice Mafanuke. I'm an auditor. I'm a chartered accountant, and I work for one of the firms in Zimbabwe. I'm a partner there.
All right. So right now we are going through this situation of COVID-19, and a lot of people have been struggling financially. So I guess my first question would be, with this situation that is going on, what is the best way that someone can survive financially?
Okay. In financial management, we always talk about the need for someone to have savings put aside, which you use for a rainy day, which would be handy for a rainy day. So if you are out of a job now, it means this is the time that one needs to start using their savings that they put aside, because this is a rainy day. But the clever way to use these funds, which you have put aside as savings, is not to take all of them and then just spend them. It would be good, if it is possible, for you to actually find a project that gives you cash quickly. I can probably just think of some people who are actually doing home deliveries for groceries for people, because that kind of service you actually pay as the service has been given, and you immediately pay. So that project will give you cash immediately, so that cash which you had invested, you are using it, but at the same time you are earning other cash, and then you are preserving the savings that you had actually made, and then you are living out of the money that you are making from that project. And there are several things that people might do. Some people also can do sales on clothes or different products that people need in their home, because most people are not able to go out shopping. Those who have money would certainly love to just to do some shopping even online. So if you have a clothes line or something that you can start, that's cash that will come handy, because as you sell anything that you can think of selling, whatever you're selling, you're getting cash. So the cash you get is what you then use to survive. That way you save the cash, that your savings that you have put on the side. So which means all your savings still remain the way they are, but what you have earned from this project is what you actually use. And then for people that have backyards, you can start growing vegetables and selling them, because many people don't even have fresh vegetables. So I think these are just some of the few basic things that I can say. But when you have that money, please stick to your basics. This is not the time for you to start thinking of luxurious expenditure, but this is the time for you to just stick to your basics, your food, the things that you need, your rent, and whatever things that you need to survive. So cut off all unnecessary luxuries from your budget. I think these are some of the few things that I can say one can do in order to survive in the situation. Because the problem which is that no one knows how long COVID lockdowns are going to last. We might still have COVID for quite some time, so it's good for you to start earning some money and to preserve your savings that you already have made, but you use those savings to earn more money for you to spend.
All right. Let's talk a bit about budgeting and investing. Most people are either not employed, or the jobs that they do have give them low income salaries. So if we're talking about budgeting and investing, how does one manage to do that with either a low income or not having any money to invest or to budget?
Okay, I think before I go to budgeting, I'll just say there are two categories of people. I mentioned the person who might have been affected in this COVID lockdown and yet they've got some savings. There could be some people who have been affected and they don't even have any savings. So in a situation like that, where you don't have even any savings, you should accept that you are in trouble, you don't have any savings, you don't have a job, and there are some organizations who are actually helping people. So it's not bad for you to go and register yourself there, and you need to show them that, look, I don't have, I need help. And some governments actually, some economies are actually even helping. There are people who don't have any money, so there's nothing wrong for you to do that. Then if you have a friend that you know, you go identify your project, and after identifying the project, you go and borrow from a relative, from a friend, and then start running this project. Most people are very happy and willing to help someone who's got an idea than to just help someone who needs money today, because if you ask for that money today, tomorrow you need money again.
Yes.
So if you are saying to somebody, you go to that person with a plan, at least they can see you have a plan that can generate money, and then you can even negotiate timelines for paying back. Just make sure that when the project starts doing well, you do remember to go and pay back that person. Then in terms of issues of budgeting, it is important for people to budget, because budgeting is like planning ahead. And because I'm a believer, I like to reference most of my things from the Bible. And Jesus even gave an example to say, can anyone go and build a house, sit down to build a house without planning first? You can just start to build a house before you sit down to plan. So in budgeting, it's like planning ahead. So you're planning your finances, and no matter how much you earn, it is important for you to plan. It's important for you to budget. And so if you prepare your budget, prepare that budget monthly if you get your money monthly, weekly if you get your money weekly, all of it depending on how your earnings come. You should prepare your budget, including all your sources of income, include all your expenses, and you should be able to know the difference between needs and wants, and write down all your expenses. Most people have a problem that they do not write down all their expenses. Then they find out that they have other expenses that they encounter in the month, and they spend their money on that. And so I always say that when you're actually writing down your expenses, make sure that you do not omit anything. And then after you've done that, after your budget is come and you've done your spending, sit down and see what you have budgeted and what you actually spent, to see whether there was any variance. Because sometimes you might have budgeted for food, maybe you say, I'm going to spend about $1,000. Then when you actually do spend, you discover that prices have gone up. So it means next month you have to adjust your budget. So your comparison, what we call budget variance analysis, is what helps you to see areas where you need to change, areas where you need to adjust your budget as you go. And then if you find yourself borrowing money for rent, then it means you are living above your means. Yes. A person should always live below their means. So if you are earning 20,000, make sure that your expenditures are below the 20,000. Not for you to make your expenditure equal to your income, because then at the end of the day it means you are not going to have anything to spend. And so stick to your budget. Most people don't like to stick to their budget. Some draw up budgets but they never follow them. And so whatever is not on your budget, give yourself that discipline to say, it's not on my budget, so I'm not spending on it right now. Yeah. So, and if you want to go for things like holidays, don't leave them out. Budget for those holidays. So that when you are going for a holiday, it's something that you've actually planned for and budgeted for. Yeah. Then the savings that you make on your budget, because on your budget you should have a line item on expenditure, because most people, they save what has remained after they spend. That's the wrong way to do it. You should have a proper business that you say, I'm saving so much. Those savings that you have made, you should make sure that you have invested them so that the money can increase. And in terms of investing, you find there are different ways of investing, whether you buy shares on the stock exchange, or you buy something that you know is going to be of value, that's going to increase the value of your savings. In a stable economy, most people would find banks offer savings, and they will actually tell you that if you put your money away for 90 days, you can get a certain percentage of interest back. And don't invest in these get rich quickly schemes, because nobody will do that. You lose your savings and you end up with nothing. And also at the same time, make sure that after you've invested your savings, you should have some investments that you can quickly turn into cash in cases of emergency. Because you don't really want to say, oh, you know what, my child has fallen sick and now I don't have cash. that you've got some savings, that you've got somewhere that you can't turn into cash. The moment you start going to other people to look for money when your child is gotten sick, it shows that you have failed to do your planning. You should have some savings that can be easily turned into cash when you need it in case of emergency.
So, from what you've just said, it could turn out that all those people that we envy, that they're always going on holiday and whatsoever, are just very good at planning.
Yes, they've planned in advance.
So probably if they are traveling in December, they've done their planning the previous year and have been doing their payments towards that. So much that their life is organized. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
And there's a lesson there for budgeting and investing.
Yes.
Then,
and you see the advantage there for those who are traveling, that remember that there are certain seasons when you buy a ticket and a ticket is cheaper then. So if you have planned, it means you're going to buy your tickets in January or maybe in February or in March, during that period and the prices are low for going on holiday in December. So when you see them, you say, wow, they're so, these guys are so rich. That's it, because that person planned. They budgeted and they planned.
Okay. Also, still on budgeting, does that mean that if constantly my variance budget analysis, I think that's what you call it, if I'm continuing to have a variance on a particular line item like clothing or whatever, does that mean I need to maybe sit down and prioritize why I want to keep buying clothes out of my budget?
Yes. If you remember, I mentioned about the issue of needs and wants. Buying clothes is not something that a person is going to be doing every month. If you keep doing that every month, there's something wrong with your discipline. You're not disciplining yourself. You are not differentiating between needs and wants.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Moving on, what are other ways besides going to work and maybe starting a business? What other ways are there in which someone can make money?
Okay, making money depends on where a person is staying because economies differ. So what you need to do to really understand what's happening around in your own economy. Since we are in a pandemic like this, the basic thing that a person can use wherever they are is to identify the needs of those around you. Someone once gave an example to say when you go, maybe you might be waiting for the bus to come, and you probably have seen that many of you are standing in a queue waiting for the bus. For someone who's business minded, that's an opportunity for a business. They know all I need to do is to get maybe a combi if you are living in Zimbabwe. If I start getting a combi and I apply this route, I know that I have to move a certain time like this and I'll make money. So the needs that people around you have should really inform your business ideas. So for example, these days in this pandemic, you could say some schools are probably going to start opening. Like now we just had schools opening for the exam classes in Zimbabwe. So they might need sanitizers. Some companies also need sanitizers when they open. And also some homes, people need masks. People need thermometers. Supply those things, because those things are the needs that people are really having at the moment. And for those who are teachers, you should offer online tutoring. Most people, like in our country, have stayed for, most pupils, they have stayed really for many months without learning. So if a parent knows that there's someone who is offering online tutoring, they are more likely to take it up. So the key is just identify the needs. Some people are no longer going out to eat, but they do like to eat food that has been cooked at restaurants here and there. So you could do a thing of cooking food at your home, then delivering it to people. You offer it online to say, you know me, I cook this, I can make cake, I can do this. So those are some of the things that you can do. Just identify businesses that are also trading and see if there are any other needs that they have. Maybe their staff need lunch delivered or things like that. So just identify to see, depending on where you are. The key word is, what is the need of those around you?
And how can I meet that
How
need?
can I meet that need?
Okay. Various books have been written on finances and investing and saving. From your own experience in the financial field, how can we break it down? We spoke about budgeting and investing and saving and expenses. How can we break it down? Other people say 50% should be your needs and wants, 20% should be this and that, and then 10% should be your savings. How exactly are we meant to break down? Is there a particular format, or can we just make it vary this month 5%, next month 75%?
Okay. Well, in terms of, for me, because I'm a believer, like I've already said, Malachi chapter 3, verse 10 says, bring all your tithes and offerings. So I believe that we need to bring our tithes and offerings. And tithes are already specified in the Bible. That tithe is 10% of your earnings. And gross, by the way, because most people always want to talk about the net, but it's really the gross that we should be tithing. And then we also need to give an offering to God, to thank God for the things. So the moment you start returning your tithe, it means God is blessed you with something. So you also need to say thank you to Him. So for me, my principle is just 10%. So I would say 10% goes for tithes, and then 10% goes to the Lord to thank Him as offerings. And then Leviticus chapter 27, verse 31 says, if you have used any tithe money, you should add a fifth to it. So suppose you've used the tithe money so that you pay the interest of 5%. Make those your very first thing. Okay. And then when you're now renting, the remaining money that is remained, make sure that you've also put aside another 10% for savings. This 10% that you are putting every month will now end up being the one that you are going to turn into your investments. Because after you've accumulated it over time, it will be quite a lot of money. If you are strict with making sure that you are saving your 10%, that 10% you take it when it is come to a reasonable amount, then you invest it. The rest of the money is what you then spend, and you can break it down the way you want. Just make sure that you've paid your tithe, paid your rent, and you've also done your savings at least 10%. And for those who are staying in Zimbabwe or any other currencies which are where you have hyperinflation, make sure that you keep your money in your savings in hard currency to preserve value.
Okay, you spoke about tithe. Is it very important to pay tithe? Maybe you can even tell us why you feel it's important to pay tithe.
Okay. Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 says, "Will a man rob God?" And God says, "Yes, you guys rob me. You tithe and offerings." And you can imagine someone who is a robber is really something which is worse than a thief. So, no, tithes are holy. We are also told in Leviticus that tithes are holy. In Malachi chapter 3, verse 10, like I've already said, God says, bring all your tithes and offerings. What I like about that is that God doesn't just say to people, bring these tithes and offerings and then he ends there. He actually says, try me, test me, and see if I will not bring you blessings that you shall not have room enough to receive it.
Okay. Maybe just before we move on to the next question, I'm sure you've also seen some benefits from paying tithes. Maybe just share. Share briefly with us.
Yeah, maybe I might not be able to just really go down and start breaking them down, but I just know that yes, there's plenty of blessings as God has promised. And these blessings, they spread to health, to favor, to work, to school achievements, to everything. So I have gained a lot from it. So yes, to children, to everything. So yes, you actually do benefit, because God is not like men. He says, "I'm not like men." He says something, then I lie about it. So when God says He'll give you blessings, He will. Sometimes He can even give you monetary blessings. I probably can tell one particular time when I had my firstborn son was going to wed, and that month, I think just the month that he was going to wed, my earnings were not that much. I had other children who were going to school, so my savings were very low. And then I was saying, oh no, but my son is wedding. I really would love to really give him a good gift. And just that month, and my salary was raised. And the money that I got was just enough for me to go and give my son that big gift, for me to say to him, congratulations. And I remember the lady was running payroll because she was also a Seventh-day Adventist, going to the same church with me. And she was friends with my son, and she knew that my son was wedding the next month. When she saw my money being raised, she just called me and says, "Mom, God loves you. I know you needed this money with your son coming." I mean, the examples are many, but that's one of those. Then I remember the other time also when my daughter was going to wed. And I needed, no, it was actually, it wasn't my, it was actually that same wedding for my son. I had my auntie in the UK, my sister-in-law, who was trying to get me a dress so that I could have a nice dress to put on as a mother of the groom, you know. And then, but it was kind of becoming difficult to see whether the dress was going to arrive on time. And one of the days when we were just having our prayer, midweek prayers, one of my friends just said, you know, I want to buy the dress for you. And so she took me to a shop, says, well, how much do you need? And I had gone to a shop and checked, so I just told her how much I needed, and she gave me that whole amount. And I went and bought a dress. And guess what? The other dress arrived. So I ended up with 2 dresses. To me, those are some of the blessings. I just blend their meaning. So I had to put on one dress in the morning and another dress in the afternoon. And I had enough money to also wish my son, you know, congratulations for his wedding. So the blessings are many. Yeah.
Those are some powerful testimonies. You were spoiled for choice.
Oh yeah, I was spoiled for choice that time.
And then I think just to close up this business thing that we're talking about, how much money does someone roughly need to start a business? So many people want to start businesses, but they always say, I don't have money, or you know, there are a lot of excuses. How much money exactly, if you can, is it quantifiable?
Okay, in terms of how much money, it depends on the type of project you want to do. So that one is not quantifiable. But what you just need to make sure you do is just have a cash flow analysis. When I say cash flow analysis, you have to have a projection where you say, I'm going to need to spend so much in order for this business to run, and then I'm going to expect this kind of amounts when I do myself, or as the business starts running. These are the cash flows that I'm expecting. So that cash flow will determine when you take your expenses, you take the income that's coming, you can be able to tell whether that's a profitable business or not. Many people run businesses that are not profitable. Most people they are getting busy, but when you find out to say, are you really making profit? They are not making profit. So you need to know that your business is profitable. So do your cash flow projections.
Awesome. I think it's from what you've said previously, it's possible that there are some businesses that don't even need any capital to start. Businesses such as providing frozen food, I can provide that for you without having to spend anything. Then the money that you gave me can reinvest my expenses. Or alternatively, you can deposit money for your order. Then I use that deposit to start that business. So it's not always that I need someone to make a capital injection into my business. What advice do you have for someone who wants to start a business?
Okay, I think most basic things that I'll just say to a person is, like I've said already, draw up your expected cash flow and determine whether your business is really profitable or not. Ensure that you've got the capital that you need, where you need capital to start that business. And if it is something that you are going to need a lot of money and you want other partners, because some people end up having very good business ideas, but they don't have cash. And they don't have the capital that's needed. But some people have got money and they do not have business ideas. So if those kind of people would come together, they would share profits of the things that they have actually made. But when you're joining up with other people, make sure that you are doing it with someone who you know you've got the same values and you understand. Because sometimes then if your personality clashes, you end up concentrating on those more than on making the business to thrive. So also make sure that you have money to register your business. Most people do business which are not registered, and if it's not registered, then it simply means you are limiting your horizon for growing, because most people most companies, actually big companies, they like to deal with businesses that are actually registered. So you may be able to be providing chickens, but you're just doing them behind the back of your house, and you have not even registered it. Then when you want to go and sell at a big store like TM or Spa, they would want that registration. So make sure that you are registered. And then sometimes when you want to expand your business, you want money from the bank. The bank would respect people that keep books of accounts and people that are also registered. And also find out about the regulatory requirements for your business, because some people have business that they've started, but there are regulations around things that you need to register. So make sure that you understand that, and also understand the tax obligations that are within that industry. So here you've got your business idea, you want to do it. Find out how many other people have done this business. Talk to those people that have done it. Then to know the hurdles and the things that will probably you need to know that they learned as they were doing the business. Then that way you can be prepared for any eventualities. Don't eat your capital, please.
So what should you do with our capital?
No, the capital should always be there for you to increase your business, not for you to take that capital money. Because if you started your project, you eat the profit, you eat the capital, then you have nothing to use as working capital. So
you haven't
it
done
will
much.
not work. Yeah. And then once you've started, if you need to pay taxes, pay them. Because you pay a lot of money on tax penalties.
Yes.
And most people don't know that. And when you're maintaining your records of accounts, it is to help you to be able to keep track of what's happening. And where possible, for those who are really growing, get your accounts audited. Because when they are audited, the auditors will be able to tell you and help you also to put internal controls in your business so that you can be able to have your business grow up to be bigger. And prepare budgets, because even in business, people do have budgets. Prepare those budgets and stick to them.
A lot of children want to start businesses. I think a lot of people have come to the realization that yes, we go to school and we hope to be employed, but not all of us get employed. So how can parents help their children who want to start businesses? How can they nurture that in their children?
Okay, the first thing that we are taught even in the book, Child Guidance, I think it is, or is it Adventist Home, I can't remember, is that you should be able to involve your children when you prepare your budget from the age that they are able to understand it. Let them understand. And then you start showing them as you do your budget, then they get to understand the value of money, and give them little projects to do around the house so that they can also learn how to earn money. And then teach your children some skills. Like I'll tell you that when we were growing up as young girls, our mothers used to make things for homes like cushions and things like that, or jerseys for people to wear, woolen jerseys and things like that in winter, or even woolen socks. So as your mother is doing that, she will teach you how to do it. So at the end of the day, we remained with skills that we could use if we ever needed to use those skills. So that's what you do, is wherever it's possible, teach your child a skill that they can grow up knowing, so that when they grow older, they can use those skills to make money. When you are running a business as a family, it's good for you to involve your children. Let them know the things that happen. If you are probably, let me just give a simple example. Maybe you are in a business where you are doing groceries. Let them learn to also go to do the orders where you are buying the stuff from. And if you need people to go and carry something, take them along. Let them also see you carrying, and you carry together. You take that stuff to your grocery shop, and they should also see you selling. You involve them. You also take this and give to the customer. Do that. Let them see that, or involve them in the business. Because most people, they have business that they run, and then when they die, the businesses end up also dying with them, and the children remain in poverty. Then that way you won't have done it well. You should let your children be able to carry over your business even after you. Yes. So teach your children and involve them, and that's the best way to teach them.
You spoke about the value of money. You've just reminded me, I was in a shop recently trying to buy a toy for my daughter. Then this mother walked in with her son, and he was holding $10. And she said to him, so I saw them, I was just watching them. He picked up a toy, he took it to the till, and then once they figured out the price was more than the money that they were holding. So the mother says to the son, no, it's not enough. For your money that you have is not enough for what you want. Why don't you put it back and take something that goes along with your money? So when they were done, I asked her, what's this about? I wanted to understand, because her son seemed to really understand that we only spend how much we have. And she was telling me that the son is probably 5. She was trying to teach him that you only spend what you budgeted to spend on that day. Whilst she could have afforded to make sure that he gets the toy that was beyond $10. She wanted to teach him that $10 is what you have, and this is what you spend. So I was telling her, but your son is so young, how can he understand this? And she was saying, in my children, I have instilled financial discipline. I teach them that each time that we go to the grocery shop, your allowance for the week, 10% of it is going to buy something for grocery. So we get into the shop, my sons pick up something, and they're the ones who are specifically meant to pay for it. So they pick it up, go with it to the till, take out their allowance, which is 10% of it, and pay for that. Now they know that when I have money, I have a responsibility to provide in the home, and then I can spend it on my toys. So I just thought about that.
Yeah,
when
it's
you,
quite a good thing.
yes, when you say that,
Just
involve them, yes, and teach them. Then what last words do you have just to encourage us as we are fine, we are going through this period, COVID-19 virus, a lot of things have changed, so much has changed. What encouraging words do you have for us? If you were to sit down and talk to me as your daughter, what would you say to me?
Okay, I think there's an author who wrote a book, The Richest Man in Babylon. I would say to go and Google it. He has 7 points, which I think I will actually want to just probably say those as words of advice. I've just simplified them. Save 10% of your annual income to start building your wealth. Okay, control your expenditure, because most people have had things that they have liked as luxuries, and these things being luxuries, they have told themselves that it's a need. As time has gone on, they've ended up considering such luxuries as being a need, you know. And if you don't control your needs or those expenditures, you end up matching your income. You end up having that situation where you have your salary gets increased this month, your expenditure also increases. You see, so as a result, such a person will never be able to get rich. Okay, increase your money by investing your savings. What I have already said, make your money work for you. And he says something like about the children of that money should work for you. Invest in what you know and understand. Don't just invest into anything that you are not sure of. You just hear today about the Bitcoin, you don't know how the Bitcoin works, and then you just say, okay, I'm also investing. No, understand it first. Guard your treasure from loss. Be careful not to lose your money, you know, to these get rich quickly schemes. Be patient and have a long-term view. Number 5, buy your principal residence. And from your principal residence, you get title deeds. Those title deeds, you can use them to start a business. Most people have got principal residence and they have got title deeds, but they're actually sitting on them, doing nothing to, you know, to increase their wealth. I'll probably just expand a bit on that. We are working, you've got a salary that you earn, your budget is flexible, you've got your title deeds, you go to the bank with your title deeds, those serve as your deposit. Then you buy yourself another property. In that property, you put someone to rent their house. As they are renting their property, the money that they are renting becomes the money that you use to repay the loan. But in the meantime, you've actually earned yourself an investment property, and you can go on and on until you have quite a huge portfolio of properties, which will end up earning passive income for you when you go older. Have future income. With that one, I think you look at things like policies, insurance policies. You are planning for the future to say, at the time that I retire, or at the time that my children start going to school, I will need money for education. You start having policies now. You have medical policies, you also have education policies, you also have house and car insurances. You want to say when you've gotten into an accident, you don't even have anything, then you don't know how to, just make sure that it's insured. Leave something for your family in case you die and you are no longer there to take care of them. So if you have been doing that property business, it means after you've died, your children can still carry on and still be able to get income from there and be able to survive. The last thing is develop your ability to earn money, to earn more money. Don't just be satisfied with just say, okay, now it's fine, I'm here, so that's it. If you are a person who said to be a professional, keep advancing in your education so that you can earn more money. And also at the same time, if you're in business, improve your business. Yeah, I think those are the things that I could say.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us on Anna's channel.
Mm-hmm.
I hope more people have been enlightened on finances and surviving during this time that we're living in.
Okay.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Okay. And I'll say one thing: do not get satisfied by just earning a salary. Have an income. You have your basic salary. Have a little project where you can be able to, which you can be able to grow, maybe into something bigger to give you more money. Because unfortunately, the problem with salaries is that salaries will never make you rich. Your boss is just going to give you enough so that he can maintain his profits. And if you have your salary, never forget about business. That salary should be the resource that helps you to get richer. So concentrate on getting income. Get extra things that you do on the side to earn income.
Thank you, Mama, for joining us.
Thank you.